Hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is August 1st, 2021. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. This is my third video of today. And I want everyone to know that I know tomorrow is a big day concerning the governor's mandate. And if anyone has questions, please go to our Local 1000 website. We have a fax queue or some information regarding how to handle this situation. As you know, Local 1000 is finally enforcing its contract for the first time in many years. We have sent a cease and desist letter to the state of California. They did not give us a 30 days meet and confer. Should I say 30 days to do a meet and confer about this situation, this August 2nd deadline concerning showing us your COVID vaccination card or being subjected to taking a COVID test. So we sent a cease and desist letter last week on the 27th. And then I believe on the 28th, we sent out the unfair labor practice charge because they still refuse to give us a 30-day notice so we can do a meet and confer on this important issue. Local 1000 believes in protecting the safety of our people. In order to do that, we must first enforce our contract. I know many people believe that this is an emergency and we have to do it. We will not allow the state of California to violate our contract. They told us that they needed to do an emergency and take away 2 days of pay for a whole fiscal year last year. That was a mistake. We should have enforced our contract. And therefore, I was elected because one of the things I told everyone I would do, not just for dues paying members, not just for people who agreed with me, I would enforce the contract for all represented employees. And I have the contract here, if you can see it. And if you notice on this cover is factually incomplete. If you notice on this cover, this contract is factually incomplete. We are not just a union full of minorities. The majority of the people in our union are white people. I'm going to say it again. The majority of our people in our union are white people. And we're going to represent everybody, not just these faces on our contract cover. We're going to represent everybody in our union. We're going to enforce our contract. I'm saying this again a third time on August 1st, 2021. I was elected for a reason. To enforce our contract was one of those very important reasons. The state of California has had plenty of time for 18 months to say, let's do a meet and confer. Let's talk about this situation called COVID. They have not done so. The state of California for 18 months had plenty opportunity to ensure that all state agencies had a permanent, standardized telecommuting plan so that we could be working people from home 75 to 90% of the time, so we wouldn't have to worry about showing our COVID vaccination cards or being subjected to a COVID test. They had 18 months. Local 1000 has had 18 months to ensure that we would enforce our contract. I'm hoping the DLC presidents and bunk chairs and all job stewards will support enforcing the contract and not just support parts of the contract they agree with and ignoring parts of the contract they don't agree with. Because when they do that, what they're saying is, if you don't agree with how they think and how they feel regarding this contract, they're going to ignore you. As your president, Richard Lewis Brown, I will not ignore you when it comes to this contract. I'm going to treat everyone with love and respect and dignity in Local 1000, whether you pay money or not. Because by this contract, I must, by the Ralph C. Dills Act, represent you. this is what I must do. This is my third video today. If you're asked to wear a mask tomorrow, please wear a mask. Someone asked me, had I been vaccinated? I have been vaccinated. And they said, well, they couldn't tell because it appears that I'm supporting the anti-vaxxers. What I'm doing is enforcing our contract. What I'm doing is making sure that all voices are heard. What I'm doing as an American, under the freedom of religion, is putting my faith in God through Jesus Christ and praying. And my prayers have been answered. And I'm not going to discriminate or not love someone because they don't believe like me. The God I serve tells me to love everyone, whether they believe in God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, or the God I serve tells me that if you don't believe in any God, to still love you anyway. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not trying to convert anyone to believe like me. Just because I believe in God through Jesus Christ, you don't have to in this great country. And I'm not trying to convert you. What I'm doing is ensuring that we enforce our legally bargained in good faith contract. That's what I'm doing as your Local 1000 president. I know people are upset. They think that I'm saying to not be vaccinated. Those are lies. That's why I put up my vaccination card. And just because I got vaccinated, because I want to respect my top boss's mother and father, does not mean you should do that. What I'm saying is this to you. We're going to enforce our contract. This is what we're going to do. And regardless of what people say about me and all the names they call me on Facebook and all the lies that they spread on Facebook and how the media portrays me to be a person that is saying to not get vaccinated, that is not what I said. I said we're going to enforce our contract. That's what we're going to do. And if anyone faces any type of action, we're going to fight to protect you. We may not win those cases, but we're going to fight for you anyway. And by fighting for all represented employees of Local 1000, that should encourage our non-members to become dues-paying members. And this idea that the politicians are our bosses, that is an absolute lie. They are elected to represent voters, taxpayers. That's who they are. Represented politicians. They represent their constituents. We are voters, okay? We voted them in. They are not our bosses. This idea, because they approve our contract, the governor approves our contract, and the legislature signs off on that, does not make them your bosses. If you feel that the politicians are our bosses, then why do you need a union for? If they are the end-all, be-all, then you don't need a union. If they are so smart and so intelligent, when they took 2 days of pay from you for a whole fiscal year while they protected and prioritized their money and their families, if that is how you feel, then that is how you feel. I'm going to respect your feelings, but I don't have to agree with it. I'm going to say it for you again. Local 1000 is for the first time enforcing its contract. And because we're enforcing our contract on this very, very delicate issue, many people are upset. But the bottom line is Local 1000, under my leadership, is enforcing its contract. That's what we're going to do when I'm your president. No one's going to bully you. No one's going to take advantage of you. We're going to fight and keep fighting. This is what we're going to do, Local 1000. No one, under no type of situation, is going to violate our contract. Oftentimes in our lives, we have emergencies. Do you think the state of California will violate our contract to help us? No, they won't. No, they won't. Therefore, I say to everyone who is mad at me, I ask you for your forgiveness. And to everyone who believes in me, I ask you to keep supporting me. We're going to have a united union, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. It's not going to come easy. Great things in life don't come easy. And when you've had the status quo way of doing things throughout the years of, quote, comply now and grieve later, that's a status quo mindset. And when people tell you they're for change and they still tell you that we should comply with what the state tells us while they violate our contract, but we can grieve later, no, that's the old mindset. That's a stale status quo mindset. It's stinky. It's smelly. It's not going to work. Therefore, we will enforce our contract under my leadership. I hope everyone voted in this VP of bargaining election. I really do. I look forward to working with all three VPs. Therefore, we can help unite our union. It's going to take more than just me, but mainly outside of leadership, it's going to take you. If you believe in what I'm saying and what I'm doing, great. If you don't believe in what I'm saying and what I'm doing, I still love you as well. Hopefully you have called the MRC to ensure that we have your personal home email and that we can call you or text you on important information. If you were dissatisfied with the union in the past and you had on our record to not contact you, please contact the MRC 866-471-7348 and let them know that you can now contact me at my home address. You can send me text messages so I can stay informed. We want everyone to be informed. Even if you're not a dues-paying member, we still want your home email. We still want to be able to contact you so we can keep you informed. Finally, let me say this. On August 1st, 2021, on my third video, I've gone through 30 days through the grace of God. And we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to enforce our contract. And even though people say we shouldn't be fighting out in the open on Facebook, there are times when you have to air out your dirty laundry in order to create a new culture of excellence. Sometimes you just can't argue behind a closed door. Sometimes you have to put it all out in the air. Put it all out in the air. You can't hide some of these things that's been going on for years and years. I remember when we set the money aside for this governor to help him fight his recall. And I remember the union taking this position that we opposed the recall. And that was before I took office on June 30th. They did this on June 2nd, and they sent the money on June 9th. So if you're still watching this video towards the end, I want to say something to you. I have told the truth since the time I stepped into office, but I was telling you the truth from 2015. And so when I told you, when they set that money aside to help this current governor, and they told you that money came from COPE, which was extra money, volunteer money, that was an absolute lie. That money came from our dues money. That came from the Issues PAC. And the Issues PAC is not, quote, the COPE PAC. I told you this. And I was telling you the truth all along, but you didn't want to hear it. When I tell you the truth that we're enforcing the contract, and I'm not trying to jeopardize your health, I'm not trying to jeopardize anybody's health, this is what I'm saying to you. We are going to enforce our contract. When they ask you to wear a mask because of this current situation with COVID, please wear a mask. Please wear a mask. This is very important. We're going to, quote, enforce the contract. They will give us a 30 days notice for a meet and confer. If you allow someone to always claim an emergency so they can violate your contract, then why did you sign a contract for? A contract is a contract. It's there for normal times and for emergency times. That's why it's called a contract. Somehow, some of our leaders in our union and some of our people in our union have forgotten that. Hence, so I see this. When she said the money came from COPE, that's a different PAC. That money came from our money in the issues pack. She specifically said it came from COPE. That's what the former president specifically said. And many of you know this, but she lied to you. And this is why I'm exposing our union for all of its lies and half-truths and mistruths and deception and fraud throughout the years. And I'm going to keep exposing these people. I will not back up. You will not intimidate me. You cannot make me run away. You cannot break my back. You can bring all the friends that you want for me. And you should, because it's going to take a whole army to come at me. But see, my belief in God, see this substance of things hoped for, but this evidence of things not seen, 11.1, you should look it up, 11.1. Maybe that's just the Hebrew in me, I don't know. But I have divine faith that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And I'm going to support all of my represented employees. And we all don't agree on everything. But what we can agree on is that we're going to enforce our contract. And we're going to find out tomorrow, really quick, if these state agencies are going to be consistent, or will each one be doing different things? Because again, they're violating our contract by not giving us a 30-day meet and confer notice. And if they try to do certain things against us, we're going to fight it. Because we have our dignity, 5.11. We have our dignity, 5.11. I stand by what I say. I mean what I say. And I say what I mean. When I ran in this election, I told you what I was going to do. Nothing I'm doing should surprise you. I told you repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. But many of you laughed at me and said I didn't have a chance. But when you were laughing at me, you were laughing at the power of God, who had said, you will be president. That's who you were laughing at. Whether you believe in God or not, this is who you were laughing at. Okay? I am here to serve a purpose, a much higher purpose than just the 100,000 represented employees of Local 1000. I'm here under a divine purpose. Those who understand what I'm saying, you see me and I see you. For those who don't, I'm going to practice the golden rule, except I'm going to give you more love to you than you can give back to me. That's what I'm going to do. All right. This is my third video on August 1st, 2021. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Make it a great evening here on August 1st, 2021. We will not quit. We will enforce our contract, and we're going to treat everyone with equal love and equal respect. Thank you. Have a nice evening.